So today we're going to be looking at IELTS grammar, and particularly we will be looking at the present perfect. So let's get started. In English, tenses are really important for your grammar. You need to make sure that you're using the correct tense in your IELTS test. So if you're talking about something that happened before, you would use the past tense. If you're talking about something that you expect to happen in the future, of course, you would use the future tense. I'm fine, thanks, Mia. Right, so tenses show when things happened. As I said, there's three main tenses: the past for things that have happened before, the present, and the future for things that will happen. Now, these tenses have something called an aspect, and one aspect of tenses is the perfect. So the perfect can show the order in which things happen. And this would be perfect tenses would be considered to be more advanced grammar than the basic tenses. So today we're going to look at the present perfect. The present perfect is formed using have or has and a past participle. So for example, I have done or he has done something. There's two ways to use the present perfect. You might use it to show that something happened at an undefined time in the past or an unknown time in the past. For example, we have met before, or I've been to France. I'm not telling you when these things have happened. You just know that at some time in the past, I have been there or we have met. If the time is known, you would usually use the simple past. For example, we met last week. That is something that started and finished in the past. We know when it was. Or I went to France in 2015. Again, this is something that has happened in the past and we know when it was. If you are using some kind of indicator of time, like last week or in 2015, you should probably be using the simple past. The second way of using the present perfect is to show something started in the past and continues to the present. This one is a little bit more complicated. What you're doing is you're showing that an action that started before continues to now, and it might even go into the future as well. So let's look at some examples. I have felt ill all week and I still feel ill now. So I started feeling ill on Monday. It's now Wednesday. I still feel ill. I have felt ill all week. Another example, you might use this in a writing task 1. For example, if you have a line graph that continues to the present, you would say, so far sales of toys have fallen this year. That means the year to today. And there we can see on this small bar chart here how that chart would look. And again, this trend might continue into the future. In a task 1, they may give you data that started in the past and continues with a projection in the future. If you are summarizing trends that started in the past and continue to the time now, you can use the present perfect. So we're going to look at some examples here, and I'm going to give you a short amount of time to identify whether the tense has been used correctly and whether it needs fixing. There are 6 examples, so 3 of them are going to be correct and 3 of them are going to have mistakes with verb tenses. So here's our example. I have listened to the radio yesterday, but I didn't listen to it this morning. Obviously, yesterday is a time in the past that's finished. I didn't listen to it this morning. Maybe it's still the morning and you haven't listened to the radio. So, for example, I listened to the radio yesterday, but I haven't listened to it this morning. Okay, clear? So, we're going to have 6 example sentences. Is the use of tenses correct? So example number 1, sentence 1. I played to the piano at home yesterday, but I didn't play it yet today. Is that sentence correct? What do we think? Yes or no? Just pop in the comments if this is correct use of the present perfect. What do you think? I've played the piano at home yesterday, but I didn't play it yet today. This sentence, unfortunately, is incorrect. So there's our first incorrect sentence. How can we fix it? We need to swap the tenses. So yesterday, that is finished. It should be simple past. Didn't play it yet today. Maybe you're going to play it later, but you haven't played it yet. So here is this sentence, and it has been corrected. I played the piano at home yesterday, but I haven't played it yet today. But you might play it later. So example sentence number 2. I've never eaten dates, but I had figs for the first time a few days ago. What do we think? Is this sentence correct? Just pop your thoughts in the comments. Put your thoughts in the comments. What do we think? Is this correct? Oh, Lena says no. This sentence is actually correct. So, I've never eaten dates. The state of eating dates, that started in the past. It started when you were born, and never the state of not eating dates continues to now. I had figs for the first time a few days ago. We've got a time given, and we know that it's finished. So sentence number 3. Do we think this is correct? More new inventions have been created since 1900 than were created at any time before then. Do we think this sentence is correct? Yes or no? This sentence is in fact correct. So we've got since 1900, the time starting in 1900 until the date today, have been created. Yes, that is correct use of the present perfect. Then were created at any time before then. That is also correct. Good, Josh. Yeah, well done, Josh. So yes, this is a correct sentence. You could use the past perfect for the second half of this sentence, but the past simple passive is also fine. So you could say, then had been created at any time before then. That is quite a high level way of organizing time through tenses. Here you could use either. So sentence number 4. Although developments in technology affected the way we live, the wheel has made a greater impact when it was invented. What do we think, guys? Is this correct? Yes or no? Any ideas? Who thinks this sentence here is correct? In fact, it is not correct. So that is the second mistake. How can we fix it? Well, although the developments in technology have affected the way we live, so the way we live, that continues to the present. The wheel has made a greater impact when it was invented. The wheel, when it was invented, that is past and that is finished. So, although developments in technology have affected the way we live, the wheel made a greater impact when it was invented all those thousands of years ago. And next example sentence, sentence 5. Many people in the ancient world developed ideas that have affected modern education. What do we think? A bit more difficult, this one. What do we think? Is this correct? Any ideas? Oh, I think Joyma thinks it's correct. And Joyma, you are correct. This sentence is fine. Developed ideas in the ancient world thousands of years ago have affected modern education. That is a state that continues until today. Okay. So this is a correct sentence. And then the big clue, there were 6 sentences, 3 of them with mistakes. Here is our last one. Is this sentence correct? I'm sure you can probably guess that it's not. My grandfather has designed a new type of engine when he was younger. When he was younger, that was a time in the past. It's finished. So we should be using the simple past there. The second half is a bit more difficult. I designed one at university too as part of my engineering course. Well, the sentence wasn't correct. In the second half, so my grandfather designed a new type of engine when he was younger, started and finished in the past. That is, sorry, John, it's not live on Zoom. It's live on Facebook and YouTube. So this class is not on Zoom. It's only going through YouTube and Facebook. So my grandfather designed a new type of engine when he was younger. Well, he's now your grandfather. Presumably he's, you know, fairly old, older than you are, certainly. So that is something that started and finished in the past. I designed or have designed one at university too as part of my engineering course. This depends on whether the engineering course is still going. Hi, Roxana. Hi, thanks for joining us. I designed one at university too as part of my engineering course. Have you finished your course at university? If you have finished it, you would probably use the simple past. If you are still at university and still doing your engineering course, you might use the present perfect. Okay. I have designed one at university too as part of my engineering course. My engineering course is continuing today. So that would allow us to use the present perfect here. Okay, these classes are fairly short, so that's all we've got time for today. But thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you next time. So thanks for coming along and taking the time out of your day